Live from a
Okay, mute yourselves.
we will.
Welcome, everybody, to our Monday Ma'ariv service. This is Rabbi Karen filling in for Rabbi Deborah, and I'm so glad you could join us. We're on Facebook. We are on YouTube. We are on simshalom.com. We are all over, and I'm so glad that you could join us this evening for our Monday Ma'ariv service. We are here in Zoom with Toby, Ellen Rose, Sue Bowers, Rabbi Elias, Rudolph, Reba, and Marvin. So welcome. If you are on Facebook or one of the other modes, you can actually sign in to Restream and chat with us that way. All right. So let me hit share. Oh, I got everybody joining in. You know what, Rabbi Elias? Let me set you up so that I could start my thing. Okay, let me go back to share. Rabbi Elias, you got it? You weren't made co-host? Oh, yeah, you were. Okay. Now we begin our Monday Ma'ariv service. Hine matovu manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matovu manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov shevet achim gam yachad. And now our call to praise. Baruch et Adonai hamavorach. Baruch Adonai hamvarach le'olam va'ed. Praise Adonai, to whom our praise is due forever. Praise be Adonai, to whom praise is due, now and forever. And now, as we see, our evenings are getting a little bit shorter. Although in Florida it's still very hot and sunny, we thank Adonai for separating light from dark and dark from light. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, bechokma poteach sha'arim, uvitbuna mishaneh etim, umachalif et hazmanim, umsader ha'kochavim v'mishmoroteiim barakia kirsono. With wisdom you open gateways, with understanding you alter times. Vary the seasons and assign the stars to their watches in the sky. Umavir yomu mevi laila, umavdil ben yom uvein laila, Adonai tzevaot shemo. O living and ever enduring God, reign over us forever and ever. Blessed are you, Eternal One, who brings on twilight. Baruch atah Adonai ha'ma'ariv aravim. Everlasting love you offer your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night, we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. And now the prayer in which we state our creed to the world. We don't ask, but we tell. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malhuto Leolam Vaed. And you shall love. And you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. And all these words which I command you on this day shall be in your heart, and you shall teach them diligently to your children. And you shall speak of them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, when you rise up, and when you lie down. And you shall bind them for a sign upon your hand, and they shall be for frontlets between your eyes. And you shall write them on the doorposts of your house and upon your gates, that you may remember and do all of my commandments, and be holy, holy unto your God. Okay, we'll stop sharing for a moment. Let me check the chat. Okay, we are here today on Zoom with Toby, Ellen Rose, Sue, Amy, Ziona, Rudolph, Rabbi Elias, Marvin, Reba, and Sapora. Hail, hail, the gang's all here. It's so great to see you. Let me go to Restream. Oops, that's the wrong button. And we've got Andy and Rebecca. Good evening, Shalom, Erev Tov. I'm so glad you could join us for this evening service. I hope everybody's doing well. I hope everybody's safe. And let's get back to our service. And speaking of miracles, Adonai parted the Red Sea. And as Miriam and the other women walked through, they sang this song of thanks. Micha mocha balim Adonai, Mika mocha nedar bakodesh, no ratehilot osefele. Your children witnessed your sovereignty, the sea splitting before Moses and Miriam. This is our God, they cried, Adonai will reign forever and ever. Thus it is said, Adonai redeemed Jacob from a hand stronger than his own. Praised are you, Adonai, for redeeming Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael. Hashivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, v'achamidenu malkeinu l'chaim, ufrosh aleinu sukat shlomecha. Adonai, bless us in these troubled times. Watch over us, take care of us. Please heal those with hatred in their hearts. Please guide us from hostility, disease, war, famine, sorrow. Shelter us in your shadow of the wings. Protect us, save us. Gracious and compassionate are you, truly a sovereign power. Guard our going and our coming in life, in peace, and now for all eternity. Spread us over your shelter of peace. Baruch atah Adonai, haporesh sukat shalom aleinu v'al kol amo Yisrael v'al Yerushalayim. Blessed are you, Eternal One, who spread your shelter of peace over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. Yitkada v'yitkada shemei rabba v'yamad yivrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael bagala bagala uvizman kariv v'yimaru amen Yehei shmei rabba mevorach Li'olam li'ol maya Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yipar v'yiroman v'yinaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shemei dekudisha b'richu Leilam b'chal b'chata v'shirata Tush b'chata v'nechemata Damiram b'yalma Bimaru, amen. Okay, we're gonna stop here for a moment. Let me check all the messages. Well, Amy, I'm sorry to hear about what the suffering you're going through now.
No, it was bad. This truck sideswiped me and he totaled my car and then he gave me a fractured vertebrae.
Oh, I hope you heal quickly on that. Okay. We're getting closer and closer to the land of Israel. And we're getting more and more speeches. You know, I think they spent 38 years in the desert and he spent like 38 weeks rehashing everything and warning the people and threatening the people and reminding the people. So this is what we're in the middle of now. This is from, I believe it's, I forgot the website, jewishliving.org. I think that's what this website is. When you enter the land, Deuteronomy 26, 1 through 29.8. When you enter the land that the eternal your God is giving you for a heritage, and you possess it and settle in it, you shall take some of every first fruit of the soil, which you harvest from the land that the eternal your God is given to you. Put it in a basket and go to the place where the eternal God, eternal one, your God, will choose to establish the divine name. Okay? So we're taking fruit that we're going to harvest and bringing it to a place that's going to be. I'm going to guess it's going to be Jerusalem. So here's the summary. The Israelites are instructed to express their gratitude to Adonai for their bountiful harvest and freedom from slavery by giving 10% of their crops for the Levites, the stranger, the orphan, and the widow. That's called tithing. The people were told to display on large stones Adonai's commandments for all to see. The Levites are to proclaim curses upon those who violate God's commandments. The Israelites are told that if they obey God's mitzvot faithfully, they will receive every blessing imaginable. That they were told that if they do not fulfill this covenant with God, many curses will descend upon them. Doesn't that sound like a parent and a child? If you do this, you do that, this will happen. But if you do that good stuff will happen. Moses reminds the Israelites of the miracles they witnessed in the wilderness and commands them to observe the terms of the covenant so that they may succeed in all that they undertake. Well, the only thing I'm going to say that might get a bit of a change, those Israelites that he's with didn't witness those miracles. These are the descendants of the former slaves who have been told of these miracles over and over and over. So now, bring the first fruit. You're going to curse people who don't obey, tithing their bountiful harvest, reminding of the miracles. So let's make this 2023. Let's change this. Let's rewrite it. How would you show? What would you do? Let's modernize this for us right here. What should we do to show? Do we curse? Do we bless those? Do we need reminders? How do we get those reminders? How do we show our gratitude? What do we do?
Being
Well, we
present
have-
in the moment.
Whoa. One at a time.
Toby,
Go
go ahead.
Okay.
Okay.
Being present in the moment, helping others that need it.
A prescribed way. That one was giving. Let me check. You take some of every first fruit of the soil. Okay. You're just saying help those. How?
Either help people financially or spiritually, or give an ear when somebody needs a friend to talk to, or just
So okay. One is being very famous, being, just a good friend. Okay. You're talking now charity?
charity,
Any prescribed amount?
helping out within the community. A
Mm,
prescribed amount.
I don't
Do
mean
as much as you can.
Well, is a certain percentage, or just leave it open?
I would leave it open because you never know what somebody has or
Okay.
doesn't have. And also, if you know they need food, all right, I picked up an extra this today or to that today, or, come over and have dinner tonight.
Okay.
Things that, and,
So you're talking on a
Equal-
one-on-one.
or in terms of any national disaster or community disaster, if you need clothing, or if you need food, if you need your place to stay. All right, your house got soaked today in one of the raging or the hurricane. Stay here until they can fix it. If you could have a family do that.
Okay, so you offer yourself in the neighborhood.
In terms of, actually having someone stay, but if you need, sending clothing or food. In fact, sometimes now they're not asking for money. It's very unusual. Now they're asking, in some places they ask for clothing.
Okay. All right, that's perfectly fine. At one point, we were told when we harvest our crops, we leave the corners of our crops unharvested, the corners of the field, so that the poor and the widow can pick the crops. So that's a little on the specific side. What would we do today?
I go with what was said before, give tzedakah, whatever you're able to do. And I did want to say what Ellen said about opening your home to people. I actually do know somebody who does that. It sounds like, an idealized way to be, but she actually does that, which is amazing. But I mean, not everybody is comfortable doing that. And she has gotten in trouble by doing that, with people that didn't turn out to be as good-hearted as you would hope. And she was, not everyone can do that. And, obviously we don't live in an agrarian society, so we can't leave the corners of our field, but we are obligated to do something. Not just sit by and let people suffer, but just do something.
Rebecca on Restream wrote, we must give of our best food relationship knowledge, our best, not our leftovers. I think that speaks to how much we waste today. We throw away a lot of food when we could be leaving it for the poor. One Thanksgiving, we had an early Thanksgiving, and God, there were pies and there were cakes, and we went over to the local fire station and dropped it off. Wasn't to the poor, but it was just to acknowledge a thank you for the people who had to work on this holiday. And there's plenty of places that will accept food donations. Okay, so there are, especially around the holiday time. But, just bringing an extra box of cereal, an extra bag of rice, that can certainly help feed families. So it's very good to give. I had a rabbi who would cook 2 turkeys and bring them to a soup kitchen for Thanksgiving. And he and his wife would work in the soup kitchen. So do we curse those who break God's commandments and bless those who keep them? How would we do that today? Jewish guilt? To one of these? Rabbi Elias, being a rabbi, come on, do we give the Jewish guilt?
My answer would be it's blessed because it makes us happy. It makes us happy to be that way. That Shabbat reminds us to stop and remember our own humanity. And that's why when we have these labor regulations and these understandings of, the first origins of, a welfare system for people who need it, we see that it's the people who keep Shabbat, who have the humanity for themselves, are then able to have that same humanity for others. And it doesn't make them feel like they have less than. It allows you to feel liberated from fear. And that's why we're blessed to feel. And cursed is, a cursed existence, a feeling of fear all the time, a feeling of scarcity. I think that's what it's coming to.
Excuse me for laughing. I'm not laughing at you. Reba wrote, I'm Reform. I don't have Jewish guilt. There's plenty of guilt in reform too. Take my word for that. Well, it's an interesting way to try to modernize it. I used to have my students rewrite the Megillah Esther for Purim, but in terms of the year we're in. So in other words, when the king calls for Esther, he texts her to meet him at McDonald's. And this is the kids' version, but they do a modern version of it. And it worked out to be very nice. I said, use all the modern equipment that they didn't have in Shushan. And, I've gotten some very interesting stories for modern Purim. Well, here we are working in modern Ki Tavo. What could we do for the blessings? Do we do anything for the curses? And how we show our appreciation and help out in the community. And to me, the lesson is we're coming up to Yamim Noraim. We're coming up to that time. Time to look at ourselves. Time to say, what could we do better? What could we do less? What do we do wrong? Not so much being cursed, but how could we fix it? This is the time to start looking at ourselves, to making ourselves better. As much as this is the time to think about that brisket you're going to cook and who's going to be at your table or what you're bringing to somebody else's house, which is all the delicious and fun stuff. But it's more spiritual than that too. Yes, making my brisket is a very spiritual experience, but that's not the one I'm talking about. It's how to be a better person for the upcoming year. All right, let's go back to our service. And you know what? I forgot to look up my Mishabera list. So let me just pull that up. This way, while you're all typing, I could be doing this list. And now let's take a moment to listen to the prayers in our hearts and our minds. Me, say shalom bimrumav, uyase shalom aleinu, ve'akol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Okay, I'm going to start with Sid and Joyce, Katie, Booma, and Luna, Robin, Lisa's daughter, Ronnie, Seal's daughter, Rabbi Allison's daughter, Miriam Bat Shulamit, Carrie, daughter of Bonnie, Leslie, Mindel, Leah Bat Chaya, Maxine, Marsha, Marlene Bat Sylvia, Bobby, George, Stu, David, Joel, and Lori, David, Cantor Ovadia, Samantha, Judy and Steve, Tracy, Gloria, Stan, Andromeda, and Jared. Okay. All suffering physically, emotionally, and spiritually, Dorothy, Marlene, Bill, Robert, Jean, David, Jimmy, Mark, Gail. All those terminally ill, especially Erica, L&D, and other cancer patients. All Sim Shalomers in need of refuah shlema. Susan N. Hirsch, Fav, and Tracy, Granny Franny, all suffering from PTSD, IDF, and U.S. veterans who are injured. Steve and Edna, all those needing healing, Sim Shalomers, everyone with mental and physical illness. Rabbi Galit, Albert Madison, Valerie Madison, Max, Ben Valerie, Tamara, Carol, Beth and her dad, Rabbi Wolkoff, and of course Amy, Granny Franny, Benjamin Noah, Ben Chaya, Chava Bat Elsa, Perry Bat Ethel, Thomas David Ben Catherine, Rivka Bat Svia, Tom Marlene Bat Chaya, B Bat Etta, My friend Jimmy is mourning for his beloved dog, victims of violence, natural disasters, and other tragedies. Those in Hawaii, Michelle Mitchell, everyone in Hawaii, all seem Shalomers who need healing. Amy H. Okay, hold on. Those in Maui, Brian and Cassie Mullins, Joanne's daughter Rachel and her husband and children who were diagnosed with COVID, Deborah Dorr, Angel, John, Hisil, and myself. Andy says, Toby, Granny, Franny, Betty, Bot, Lillian, Lauren, Bot Evans, Andrea, Bot Marcia, the Orzabels and the Smith family, Durala and Jenny, Len, Ben, Roxy, Joanne Hall. Okay. Mishe Beirach Avotenu Mehol Habraha Limotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Andy, the people of Maui, and those survivors of recent shootings in Jacksonville and North Carolina. Mishe Beirach Imotenu V'chol habraha le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol, latet gudula liotzer bereshit, shelo asanu kikoye haratzot, v'lo samanu kimishpachot hadama, shelo sam helkenu kahem, v'gor aleinu kichol hamanam, v'anachnu korim, u'mishtachavim u'modim, lifnei melech malchei hamlochim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, V'ne'eman v'aya Adonai, L'melech al kol ha'oretz, Bayom ha'hu, Yeh Adonai echad, U'shemo echad. We recall the loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died in the season and years past, and those whom we have taken into our hearts with our own. The memories of all of them are with us. Our griefs and sympathies are mingled as we praise Adonai and pray for the coming of his kingdom. Yitkadal v'yikadash shemei rabbah, v'yalmad yirah hirutei, v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayek hon uv'yomei hon, uv'chayeh dechol beit Yisrael, b'agalav azman kari v'yimru amen. Yehesh mei rabbah mevorach le'olam al mei al maya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yipar v'yiraman v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalei v'yitalal, shmei dekudusha b'riachu, le'elam mikol b'chata v'shirata, Tushbachata v'nechamata, tamiram yalman v'yimru amen. Yehesh lama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim olenu v'yal kol Yisrael, v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom b'rumav, hu ya'aseh shalom, alenu v'yal kol Yisrael, v'yimru amen. And may all those who are in mourning be comforted by the one who comforts all. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for being here with me this evening. JSLI, thank you. JSLI, we're going to be having some classes coming up soon if you're interested. We are having our high holiday services, so I think it's on the Sim Shalom webpage if you're interested in purchasing tickets so we can all Zoom together on the high holidays. and just be well, be safe. And I thank you for the prayers that you all send for my son to get home safe. And talk about Jewish guilt. I'll give him one of those. All right. So again, be well, be happy. Take care.
Shavua Tov.
Shavua Tov.
תודה רבה.